Your passion is the problem. How's that working for you? You've been told your whole life that strong emotions mean you're real, that if you feel things deeply, you're authentic. That emotional intensity equals depth of character, and you've built your entire identity around it. When someone asks what makes you different, you point to how much you care, how deeply you feel, how intensely you experience life. But there's something you haven't noticed. Every time those emotions spike, your life falls apart a little more. The relationships get harder. The decisions get messier. The peace you're searching for keeps slipping further away. And here's what Marcus Aurelius Septimus understood that most people never will. The emotions you're defending as proof of your authenticity are the exact force destroying your ability to think clearly, act wisely, and live well. You're not passionate. You're destabilized. And you've confused the two for so long that you can't tell the difference anymore. This isn't about becoming cold. It's not about shutting down or becoming some emotionless robot. It's about recognizing that the strongest emotions in your system right now aren't showing you truth, they're showing you threat. Your anger isn't revealing injustice. Your anxiety isn't revealing danger. Your excitement isn't revealing opportunity. They're revealing that your nervous system is running the show, and you've been calling it passion because that sounds better than admitting you're out of control. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why the emotions you trust most are the ones lying to you, and what to do about it before they cost you everything that matters. Here's what actually happened. Dominic Stone sat across from me 3 years ago with that sharp jawline clenched so tight I thought his teeth would crack. He just walked away from another relationship. Third one in 2 years. Same pattern every time. He'd tell me about the fights, the intensity, the passion that turned into chaos. And every time he'd say the same thing. At least I feel something. At least I'm not dead inside, like everyone else. He wore his emotional reactivity like armor, proof he was more alive, more real, more honest than the people around him who seemed to glide through life with less drama. When he got angry, it meant he had standards. When he got anxious, it meant he cared about outcomes. When he fell hard and fast in relationships, it meant he was capable of deep love. That's what he told himself. That's what he told me. That's the story he'd built to justify the wreckage. But here's what I saw. Every time his emotions spiked, his intelligence dropped. Not metaphorically, actually dropped. When that anger hit, he couldn't remember the conversation from 5 minutes ago. When the anxiety spiked, he made decisions his calm self would never make. When the infatuation took over, he ignored red flags a child could see. His strongest emotions weren't revealing truth. They were replacing his ability to see it. They were actively blocking access to the reasoning, the pattern, the recognition, the wisdom he'd accumulated over years of experience. I asked him one question. When you're in that emotional state, can you think of a single time the decision you made in that moment was better than the decision you would have made a day later? He went quiet. That angular face softened for just a second. Because he knew. Every terrible decision, every burned bridge, every regret he carried, they all happened in those moments of peak emotion, the moments he'd been defending as proof of his authenticity. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that Dominic needed to hear. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But here's the part everyone misses. You also don't have power over your mind. When your emotions are at their peak, that's not your mind anymore. That's your nervous system in survival mode, running patterns from a different era of your life, making you think thoughts that feel profound but are really just fear dressed up as insight. Dominic started watching for it, not trying to shut emotions down, but noticing when they were making him stupid. When anger made him want to send that text, he noticed his IQ had just dropped 40 points. When anxiety made him want to quit the project, he noticed he couldn't access the reasoning that got him into it. When infatuation made him want to ignore the warning signs, he noticed he was running on chemistry, not judgment. He was operating from his brainstem, not his prefrontal cortex. The shift wasn't dramatic. He didn't become calm overnight, but he stopped trusting peak emotional states as sources of truth. He started recognizing them as weather patterns. Real, powerful, temporary, and completely unreliable for navigation. And here's what changed. The relationships stabilized because he stopped creating unnecessary chaos and calling it passion. The career moved forward because he stopped making fear-based pivots and calling it intuition. The peace he'd been searching for finally had room to exist because he wasn't flooding his system with emotional intensity and calling it authenticity. Seneca said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." But it's not just anger. It's all of it. Every emotion that feels overwhelming in the moment becomes manageable with distance. Not because the emotion was wrong, but because your ability to think clearly about it only exists when you're not drowning in it. The feeling doesn't go away. It just stops running your entire operating system. Your strongest emotions aren't your deepest truths. They're your loudest ones, and you've been listening to volume instead of wisdom. Here's what you do. Next time you feel that surge, that intensity, that certainty that you need to act, right now, do nothing for 2 minutes. Not forever. Not as a life philosophy. Just 2 minutes. Set a timer if you need to, because that emotion is telling you it's urgent. It's telling you waiting will cost you something. And that urgency is almost always a lie. In those 2 minutes, you're not suppressing anything. You're not pretending you don't feel it. You're just refusing to let peak emotion make decisions for you. And what you'll notice, if it still matters in 2 minutes, it'll matter in 2 hours. But most of what feels critical in the moment is just your nervous system running an old pattern. 2 minutes. That's it. This is where most people stop. Don't be most people.